Hey math friends. So what we're going to do today, we are going to have a lesson that you're going to do over 2 days. So what I want you to do is I want you to complete an activity either with me on Zoom or you're going to do it on your own at home. But it's going to last 2 days because we're comparing proportions in different ways. So we just took a quiz on constant of proportionality in all 4 representations and finding out if they're proportional. Now we're going to put it all together to finish our unit. So let's just recap for this. So all 4 representations. So we have this equation, y equals 4x. What scenario could this represent in words? So what I've done is I've added a few for you. You could add 1,000. There could be a million different things, but just whatever. Thinking at school, there's 4 stalls in a bathroom, 4 stalls per bathroom. For $1, I can get 4 pieces of gum. Or in a bag of Skittles, there are 4 red Skittles. Those are all representations. So we're going to take this equation and we're going to create a table and a graph. I'm going to use the gum representation. So I've got, for $1, I get 4 pieces of gum. Then I could say for $3, I can get 12 pieces of gum because I'm multiplying by 4, because that is my COP from my equation. And then for $5, I could get 20 pieces of gum. So we could see that this is the same and compare them because the COP is 4. And then if we were going to do a graph, I made a bigger graph for you. So I'm going to put, I'm going to count by 2. All right. So for 1 piece or $1, so this is our dollar and this is our gum. Okay. For $1, I get 4 pieces of gum. So I'm going to find the spot where 1 would be here, and I'm going to put a dot right there at 4. And then we said for $3, I could get 12 pieces. So I'm going to find the spot that would be 3, and I'm going to find 12 here and put a dot. And then we said for $5, you could get 20, but 20 is all the way up here. So I'm going to go all the way to 20. All right, and then I'm going to draw my graph. This is probably not going to be perfect, but it's not too bad. And I can find that COP where 1 and 4 meet, okay? Remember, it's 1 on the x-axis. So that's a way you can have an equation, a table, a graph, and words. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over a few examples comparing relationships. So this is just 2 ratios or an equation that's a true proportion. So for A, I'm going to cross multiply and see if these are proportional. Remember, I want my product to be the same. 7 times 7 is 49. 5 times 5 is 25. So A is not proportional. For B, rather than cross multiplying because the second ratio is big, I'm going to find the scale factor this time. The first one, I'm multiplying by 5 to get 25. The second one, I'm multiplying by 7 to go from 7 to 49. Those are not the same scale factor, so B doesn't work. For C, I'm going to cross multiply here. I get 49, 9, and 45. That doesn't work. For D, I want to use scale factor. I get times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21. Scale factor is the same, so D is the correct answer. And now we have another ratio, but now we're asking which is going to be the same as something else. So let's figure it out. Dante bought 15 pounds of metal for $36. Which purchase would have the same cost per pound as Dante's purchase? Cost per pound. So something per something else means we are dividing by that. So cost per pound, I'm going to take that 36, which is my cost, and divide it by the pounds, and I get 2.4. So I'm going to look at A, B, C, and D. and divide them out. 12 divided by 5 actually gives me 2.4. These have the same unit rate or constant, so we know that A is our answer. So you're always looking for COP or unit rate. So another one, David and Keith have summer jobs that pay an hourly rate. This is important when you're trying to find a summer job. After working 30 hours, David earns $262.50. The table shows the amount Keith earns after working different numbers of hours. Who makes more money per hour? How much more? More per hour. So we want to know the amount per hour. So we need to find the unit rate, the amount for 1 hour. So 30 hours for David, this is David, and he makes $262.50. Okay? If I want amount or the dollar amount per hour, I'm going to divide dollars divided by hours. So $262.50 divided by 30 gives me $8.75. And I'm going to circle that because that's important. I want to remember that. Now let's look at Keith. For 10 hours, he gets $82.50. So I'm going to do the same thing. Dollars per hour, I'm going to divide $82.50 by 10, and I get 0.25. So, David or Keith, who makes more? Well, David makes more by how much? $8.75, $8.25. Well, he makes more by 50 cents. Okay? And if it was multiple choice, you could obviously select the answer. Another example, Kel works at an after-school program at an elementary school. The table shows how much money he earned every day last week. Mariko has a job mowing lawns that pays $7 per hour. Who would make more money working 10 hours? Same thing here. We need to find the amount per hour and then figure out how much they would make in 10 hours. So, let's see. I'm going to take this 1.5 hours and $12.60. So I'm going to say I need to figure out the dollars per hour. So I'm going to divide dollars divided by hours. So $12.60 divided by 1.5, and that gives me $8.40. And that is Kel. Okay. Now I'm going to do Mariko. He makes $7 per hour. Well, we don't have to do anything for that because that's already our unit rate. So that's Mariko. So before we ever multiply times 10, who makes more money per hour? Kel or Mariko? Kel, right? So if I did $8.40 times 10, that would give me $84.40. No, $84 even, excuse me. And if I were to do Mariko, $7 times 10, that would give me $70. Kel still makes more money. He makes more per hour, so he's going to make more. All right? And one more, you have a table now and a graph. So the graph below shows the total cost for different numbers of people at skate roller rink F. All right? Roller rink G, the cost is shown in the table. Which rink is cheaper per person? You see this per person. That tells me I'm finding unit rate. In a graph, we can find unit rate or the amount for one by finding our COP. So I'm going to look at where 1 is on the X, the number of people, and I see this ordered pair. But it's not really clear what that number is. So I want to look for an ordered pair that crosses the crosshairs perfectly, and I'm going to look at 540. So for 5 people, and this is roller rink F, for 5 people, it's $40. To find the amount per person, 40 divided by 5 gives me $8 per person. If I'm going to look at roller rink G, 2 people is $15. So if I divide the cost, 15, by 2, that gives me $7.50. So which one's cheaper, G or F? G. So we're going to say roller rink G is cheaper. and it's 50 cents cheaper. All right? So you're going to practice this over today and tomorrow, and we'll do some things when you're in Zoom with me. And make sure that you find that constant of proportionality or that unit rate for the table, for the equation, for the graph. Okay?